Kickoff right now. Pittsburgh, Houston. Who you got? File on in. Drop your winner in the chat. Drop a score and a winner in the chat. Who's going to win? Is Aaron Rodgers going to best CJ Stroud? Is Nico going to be a factor? Is this going to be a boring, low-scoring game? It could be. It very well could be. The Fantasy Football Show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
I think this happens. I think the Houston Texans win this game. And I think that it comes down to just this defense won't allow Aaron Rodgers to do anything. And won't allow the rushing attack to do anything. Maybe they break off a run or two, but it's going to come down to who can score the most points. And the question I think we're going to ask ourselves, and I could be wrong, this is why we play the game, but I think at the end of the day, as much as we want to get excited about this, you know, this field, this environment, Aaron Rodgers, we're looking at A-Rod and we're saying, does he have it in him? Like, this would be exciting and fun. And the lights right now, the yellow lights just swirling around. The whole stadium is going crazy. It's electric. The environment seems amazing. But you're talking about a team that has to score against this Houston Texans defense. You're talking about who can score more points and which offense can score against the defense more. And I just see the Houston Texans being able to score more points than the Steelers can against the Texans. It's as simple as that. It's going to be low scoring, and I don't know that there's going to be much yardage gained by this first half on the Steelers side of the ball. This is one of those box scores later on. We'll box score Bobby. We'll come in at the end of the game and say at halftime, it was like 2 catches for 12 yards, 1 catch for 7 yards, 2 catches for 14 yards. 6 rushes for 23 yards. Aaron Rodgers, 0 touchdowns and 95 or 120 yards passing and maybe 1 INT. Like, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think we come in and see a Pittsburgh Steelers box score at halftime that is very underwhelming. But I could be wrong on this. Very, very excited to watch this game go down. I just think we've been blessed with so much action all weekend long that our expectations are pretty high, and those expectations will not be met. There's not much to go over right now. We got a lot of head coaching interviews. Kingsbury interviewed with Harbaugh interviewed with the Falcons, Kingsbury with the Ravens, and so on. And we got a whole bunch of stuff we've already expected to happen and finally get concluded. But right now, we're just kind of waiting on pins and needles on a Harbaugh decision. Are the Titans going to be in the mix? Are the Green Bay Packers now going to be in the mix? There's a whole bunch of stuff that's just kind of floating around. George Kittle with the Achilles situation is awful. We broke all that down on a previous show. I just dropped on the Dynasty channel this video right here. If anybody wants to go give it a watch, it is right here, I believe. Where's that Dynasty video? There it is. It looks like this. Dynasty by Jaden Daniels. It's on the Dynasty channel right now. That is the Dynasty video of the day. There'll be no live stream, I don't think, on the Dynasty channel because I just dropped that video. Go watch that. Also, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, this video will be dropping at 7:30 a.m. Eastern in the morning. It is this video right here. 2026 buy lows. Charbonnet, JD5, Hall. There are 7 players that you need to go get in 2026. These there's more. There's Brock Bowers, for example, I didn't put on that list, but we've done a lot of buy Brock Bowers low. And at the end of the day, he'll be probably the biggest buy low. But these guys are guys maybe we haven't fully talked about, and they're just more of other players to look for. So that video will drop at 7:30 a.m. Don't have much more to go over, so phone lines are open immediately.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Bring your predictions as to what do you think happens, who wins this game. Put it in the comments. Who wins? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys think. And I think I got a 24-21 from Carter, Houston. First half magic. For the second half, we will see. I'm still sickened Etienne and Tootin didn't get more carries. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Texans 20, Steelers 16. JD5 needs to beef up. He looks like come on, Wild Bill. 23-16 Pittsburgh. Okay. Steelers. Axis Steelers will win. We'll see. Aaron Rodgers run it out onto the field. Last time this happened, it didn't go over well. Aaron Rodgers running out onto the field. I'm excited for him, for sure. I mean, like, this is an electric environment. I mean, this is playoff football. Old man Aaron Rodgers willing his team with putting him on his back and winning that Week 18 game against the Bucs that sent them to the playoffs and not Tampa. And now we're watching. He did that. Like, that's exciting. Even if he loses this game, what a way to go out, honestly. Even if maybe he plays again, maybe he plays next year, maybe he returns to Pittsburgh. I think they're really excited about what he brought to the table. I mean, honestly, even if this fails against a Houston Texan tough defense, I don't think it'll be low scoring. I don't know that it'll be ultra embarrassing. It could be a potentially 1 or 2 score win. It's always possible. But this could be a very low scoring affair where it's less than 7 points that wins the game. It's possible. But no matter what, Aaron Rodgers, you got to give it up for him. I think I didn't have the phone lines open. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, phone lines are open now. You got to give it up to Aaron Rodgers for getting his team here. I did not think the Steelers were even going to make the playoffs. I mean, they almost didn't. So, very, very excited to watch this go down, and very, very, very happy that Aaron Rodgers is able to go out at least as a playoff, playing quarterback. So we'll see. This environment definitely could be a factor. If there is anything that's going to influence this game to go in a weird direction, maybe a quick defensive touchdown that puts the Steelers up big, and then they're just protecting that lead a little bit, trying to just squeak by, get another field goal later. Maybe it's 10-7 at some point, halftime. I predict a 10-7 halftime. No. 10-3 halftime or 10-7 halftime score, which might be higher scoring than honestly this game will end up being. Who knows? 240, you're live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Landman.
Landman. What is up, my man? Landman.
Hey, this is going to be like 12-3 at halftime.
Yeah, it might be. I was saying 10-7 or 10-3 at half. Is what I just said. But yeah, it could be even 7-0. What if this is the lowest scoring game that we've seen in years? What if the score ends up being like 13-10 at the end of the game?
I think it's like there'll probably be a defensive score or two.
Husseini.
Or special team score. Yeah.
Husseini 5.
So.
Thank you, Husseini. Who knows? Like I said, in order for the Steelers to win this game, in my opinion, with the spotlight, the crowd, the lights, the spectacle, the vibe, it might need to be some sort of mishap, fumble recovery at the 10-yard line let's say the Houston Texans get the ball and then they fumble it and maybe be on the return or something, and then all of a sudden the Steelers score real quickly. Oh, that would be the best case scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would put them right in the driver's seat. But it's going to require something like that. Texans are their defense is too good, man. I cannot envision Aaron Rodgers, who I believe played really well this year, but I can't see A-Rod being the quarterback that takes this defense in a different direction in the box score. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But I tell you what, we had some exciting games over the weekend.
Yeah, we had enough in the tank for this one to be a tank. This could be a really boring game, and we definitely can't complain because we had so many amazing comebacks and turnarounds. I'm a little fearful that next week's going to be boring somehow. low scoring, no change in scores. Like we really got a shot of amazingness in that first round. That wild card round was just unbelievable. I think it's definitely not gonna be the case tonight. But you never know, man. You never know. Toner says A-Rod masterclass.
Hey, I got one question off topic a little bit here, but what the hell happened at McDaniel's dinner with the owner from the Miami Dolphins?
Probably McDaniel wasn't speaking coherently. Because the first meeting, they had two meetings. The first meeting, it was decided that McDaniel was staying. The second meeting was, hey, what are we doing next year with this team? And then he fired him.
Yeah, so they had him on the committee for the general manager selection.
Right. So I think I think that they all, in my imagination, he walked in and when he left, multiple people were looking at the owner going, really? Like, do we all not sense what's going on here? Like, I'm not trying to insinuate where he's at in his personal life right now, but he seems like a mess when he's at the podium, man. And I'm not going to make assumptions or actually verbalize it, but something feels off with McDaniel. I think a lot of people feel that way. He's incoherent when he's up there talking. And, maybe he's coherent some moments, maybe he's not others. That would make sense. If that doesn't mean that just because he's incoherent one moment, there isn't a reason why. And then, but he just seems off and something seems weird. And we'll see if he can pull it together, though, in these interviews, right? If he goes and pulls things together and he goes and has these interviews, gets a job, doesn't mean he's, not going to be acting like a weirdo at the podium for his new team. I don't know. I'm not sure. All I know is I want him on my staff regardless, and just dial up some schemes, bro. Just scheme. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care if he's able to communicate or not. I just want him cooking up an offense that's feeding Bijan the type of reception volume that Achane was getting, or Gibbs the kind of volume that Achane was getting. So if we get Miami Mike McDaniel architecting, OCing for Bijan or for Gibbs, we're plenty happy. But we do need Achane to get another offensive-minded guru in Miami so that we don't lose Achane. It's a tough balance, man. And these train wrecks that a lot of people want to see happen, you get what you wish for. You got to be very careful. You want Tua out of the lineup because he's trash? I don't think you do. I think Tua out of that lineup sucks for Achane, and until we get further, evidence that somebody else can dump off to him to the same rate. How the hell is this good for Achane? I'm not saying Achane drops off tremendously, but wow, first carry 10 yards against this Houston Texan defense. Jaylen Warren ripped off a 10-yard run. We'll see what happens here. First carry, not a smashing debut for this Houston Texan rush D, but it's one carry. It's one carry. They're still only at about the 30-yard line. So it's not like they're marched downfield or anything. All right, Warren to the right. Aaron Rodgers in the gun. Two wide receivers split to the right. Aaron Rodgers says, three wide receivers to the right. Aaron Rodgers says, hatchback 32, get to my left side, Warren. Blue 32, Bobby Boucher to the right. Okay, man, Pittsburgh, 17-yard reception by DK Metcalf. What are we doing here? Unbelievable. I'm excited. Houston Texan defense not stepping up. All right, go ahead. Landman, real quickly, I'm going to probably put you on mute in a second and go over to Travis, but hit me with your other comment or two and then over to Travis.
No,
Man.
I was just going to say halftime could be like 24-21.
Well, it's always going to be the opposite of what anything we say. And it's not because we can't predict, but when it comes down to football, like fantasy's different. It's a long-term thing. That's why week to week it's even hard. Like 50-50 calls, start, bench, advice. Calling stuff from a week-to-week basis is really, really tough. Even calling a score like this is just extremely it's why they play the game. That phrase is used for a reason. Trying to predict a long-term average of an outcome of a player is a lot different than predicting a one-hit Willie. Some of the hires, and that's why the hires and lowers, it's a tough game because it's, sporadic. But wow, I mean, this could be like one drive and then the Steelers do nothing the rest of the game. You know, how many times did we see the receiver get like a 15-yard catch on the first play, then they don't get anything the rest of the half? All right, so we got 3 wide receiver bunch on the left, handoff to Warren. That's more of what we normally would see from that Houston Texan rush D. It's probably like a 2 or 3 yard gain. Travis, you're live.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I mean, I want Pittsburgh to win. I'm rooting for Rodgers, but also obviously would think the Patriots would have an easier time with Pittsburgh than Texans, you know, technically speaking, but you never know. But I think Texans probably win, but I think it's closer than a lot of people have thought. And I don't really buy the blowout thing.
Yeah, I'm if anybody didn't know by the tone that I said at the beginning, I don't let myself get caught up too much in the moment or decide too much with my heart. Sometimes, very rare occasion I can. But I kind of admit it up front. I kind of tell you, like, this is my heart speaking, though. I'm pretty open about it. I'm rooting for the Steelers. It might not sound like it because I said that I don't think the Steelers can pull this off. But I'm rooting for the Steelers for sure. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers. It's such a good story. And I love Aaron. I've always loved Aaron Rodgers. He's got a little kookier over the last few years. I've definitely
I like him more
I've defended him over the years. I like his sense of freedom and speaking what's on his mind.
The more I like him.
I know, that's the way I am. Wow, we got five wide, empty backfield. A-Rod slings it way over the head of, I don't know if that was DK. Jeez, man. There you go, 4th and 7. You see how unproductive that ended up being? And that's how, I mean, Houston might give it up to you a couple times, you know. This is, taking Houston out on a date would be tough. You might think you're getting somewhere by, like, dessert. It all goes south. So we're looking at a team that didn't even cross the 50-yard line, and we got excited twice. We got ultra excited and loud twice, and they didn't cross the 50-yard line. So what it's going to come down to for the Pittsburgh Steelers, how many times can they, with their defensive stops and positioning, get the ball in a situation where they can get 1 or 2 first downs and at least get a field goal? Because if they can kick a field goal, there's points on the board, but they're not going to probably get more than 2 or 3 first downs on any drive, as we just witnessed. So, like, you got to have good field position in order to capitalize and score points against this Texans D. Now, maybe they score a touchdown. We just saw Aaron Rodgers and Warren look good for a moment, but man, 4th and 7 happened quick. Like, that balloon got deflated real fast.
These two teams need to take the points if they're sitting there for them. Like,
yeah.
I guess I'm old school. Like, I think way too often these teams, you know, go for it on like 4th and 4, 4th and 5, rather than just take the points. And I know people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter early," but I'd rather take the points early and be desperate later. And I know that's the opposite of analytics, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, but they there's no points to be had there yet. They didn't cross the 50. But
no, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I don't think
so much in this first round, teams just going for it.
I think Tomlin will
it.
take points. Tomlin will take. He knows he's got to have points. He knows this could be a 10 or 13 point, game. So you score a field goal, you might have 1/5 of the entire total score.
Right.
I don't know.
Ron, I wonder. Ron's probably rooting against the Steelers because he wants Tomlin gone.
Ron says he talks a big game, but then when it comes down to it, I think he really wants the Steelers to win. This is going to be interesting. And again, whoever wins this game right here, Houston, Pittsburgh, doesn't matter. They're playing New England no matter what, because the highest seed, the worst team remaining plays the number 1 seed. Because you think of it like they've earned it, right? They've earned the bye, and then they've earned the quickest path to the Super Bowl. So if Buffalo had lost since New England won, and New England's a 2, then the highest and worst remaining seed would have been one of these two teams. So it would have been, if Buffalo lost, it would have been Jacksonville versus New England no matter what, and then Houston, Pittsburgh no matter what, facing Denver.
Yeah.
So it's
in that sense, the Patriots actually lucked out because on paper, anyway, they get the easier path and the Broncos and the Bills get to beat up on each other.
Yeah, and that's what I said
On
last
paper,
night.
anyway.
Yeah, that's what I said last night, that
Things
it's,
can change,
Drake May definitely and the Patriots didn't look great that entire game, and it was good to get that out of their system. Landman, you can go ahead and call back, or Landman's still there. Maybe Travis hung up. It's good
Hey,
they
you
got
guys,
that.
kudos to you guys. You guys hit the you guys stuck with Buffalo. I mean, I know you got family and everything like that, Smitty, but you stuck with Buffalo. I
Yeah,
really
but
thought
my
that
my family ties to Buffalo had nothing to do with my choice. Hold on 1 second, Landman. Hold on. Let me get Travis on here. Travis, hang tight real quickly. You keep referencing that Buffalo call as if there's some bias involved. That's how I expected it to go, not just, because I root for Buffalo. But Buffalo, to me, I've changed my tune into thinking they can go all the way this year. I truly think they can. The path is going to be unique. I do think, like Travis said, they could beat up on each other here, but I believe Buffalo's got the best path to getting Josh Allen the best help he can get, because even though Denver's tough, but I think Buffalo is going to be able to run on them. So I think Buffalo is going to run the hell out of the ball here. They're going to run the hell out of the ball here unless Houston makes it to this conference championship, which I don't think they will. And New England, thank God they were able to play a paper tiger Chargers team who didn't belong in the playoffs, to be honest. And New England still struggled a little bit. And New England at least can get all of that, like Drake May is getting butterflies out of his system, and then when he gets to the big game here, he'll have more experience. What a throw!
nice
Who
grab.
caught that? Who was that? Wasn't Nico? Who was that grabbed that? I wasn't.
No, it's, Kirk.
Christian Kirk. Welcome back to the NFL, Christian Kirk. Would that ball hit the ground, Kirk? Kirk, make sure you cradle that sucker.
He's underneath.
Now, Stroud is, what kind of form is that, Stroud? Follow through looked ridiculous. I look.
Looks a little bit fairy.
I don't know what he was doing there. Okay, so Stroud under center, handing it off to Wood. Is that Woody? I'm sure it's Woody.
Yeah, it's Woody.
Woody Marks is just been abused. Woody Marks is the, I would say, most unlucky running back in the National Football League. I think that was Chubb. I think Woody Marks just came into the game. Woody Marks is the most unlucky running back in the National Football League because he is stuck behind a pretty bad offensive line all year. He is getting abused and hit, before he even has the football in his hands. And he's so good. And I have a feeling he's going to be overlooked by this team as they walk into the NFL draft and free agency, just because he didn't have the numbers. He gets smashed like that carry right there. He gets the ball. There's nowhere to go. He's so much better than his box score reads. There's nothing he can do. You could put Bijan in this offense, and Bijan would not even be getting elite numbers behind this offensive line. He has nowhere to go, and he's such a tough running back. I like Marks a lot. I hope he doesn't get overlooked. Stroud in the shotgun. Chubb's back into the lineup. Chubb motions over to the right side. We've got 3 trips to the right. I don't know if that's Nico on the left. I think it's Nico. Yeah, it's Nico on the left. Man, Stroud doesn't. I'm not a big Stroud guy. I think he's okay. I think he's golf.
He needs that perfect pocket. If he has time, he can make good throws.
Every quarterback that's not in the top like 5 or 6 is just Stroud. They're all Stroud. Goff.
Yep.
Even Dak, even though Dak can score fantasy-wise pretty high some years, he could be 4 or 5. He is still Dak and Goff. Dak, Goff, Stroud, Caleb. Purdy, when things are clicking, they're all just the same quarterback. That's why anybody can be QB7 at any given moment. Anybody can be QB12 of that group. The QB12 could be 17 points off of the QB7. All right, let's see here. Is anybody shocked at 0-0 still? All right. Stroud in the gun. I believe that's offsides. That's Chubb in the lineup.
And it's just Nico on an out pattern.
Man, why is
Chubb going inside?
What's Chubb doing?
Another penalty.
Chubb doesn't even. I'll give it to Chubb for being on the field and getting healthy. No, there's nobody that quits. I mean, he doesn't quit. He just doesn't quit. There's no. I don't think anybody else would keep playing. Nick Chubb has had the 2 worst knee injuries in running back history. He's had the 2 worst recorded, documented knee injuries that any player's ever suffered. He has both of them. Where he made a protractor right angle with his knee in the wrong direction twice. Stroud scrambling, throws it. Jeez. Well, as we said, low scoring game. It goes both ways. The Houston Texans have to be able to score points against the Steelers in order to win this game. Nobody can tie this game.
Yep.
So maybe it's going to be
20. That's a 20-17, and that might be high.
What are the odds? There's no touchdowns, and it's like 9-3, 4 field goals.
There could be. I mean, in last night's game, there's just 1 touchdown. You know.
I think if you don't score a touchdown in a playoff game, you shouldn't advance. They should just
cancel.
All right, kick out of bounds
for your next opponent.
Wow, good spot. This guy's running all the way upfield. This referee, he's taking it to like the 40-yard line. It was a punt. It looked like it went out about the 15. This guy ran to like the 35-yard line. He's like, nope.
He's got more yards than he in the offense.
He does. That guy he looked faster than Nick Chubb. The Zebra Stripes box score is through the roof.
So
35-yard rushing.
I don't know if you said anything at the beginning. I missed the first few minutes of the show, but did you mention anything about Harbaugh being a possibility for the Titans?
Yeah, I did. Harbaugh.
What's your feelings on that?
I think that if there's a coach that I want, how do I word this? If we're going to burn one of these coaches in a bad spot, I want it to be Harbaugh. And I know you're a little higher. Like, I was pretty high on Cam Ward in the offseason. I don't mind him. I think he's no different than CJ Stroud. Now, could he develop? And I changed my mind? Absolutely. But I am not excited about the Titans situation right now. But here's the thing. Like, that could change in a snap. Because if the Titans, let's say, drafted this number 4 pick, let's say they get Jordan Tyson or they get Carnell Tate or maybe Lemon. I'm not as big on Mekhi Lemon as everybody else, but he's short, he's slow, just not as high on him. But if they get one of those 3 wide receivers, specifically the 2, all of a sudden I get a lot more excited about this situation, especially if Harbaugh's coaching it. But if Tennessee messes up this pick, and I know that a lot of people are going to say messing it up you can't mess it up going offensive line. That might be true. But if they don't go skill position player here, we're talking about being a year or 2 out. And so I'm just not interested. Doesn't mean that they're not building the right way or that it won't eventually be good. But if you don't coach up the position, free agency the position, trade for the position, or draft late in the 2nd or 3rd round for, let's say, the offensive line, you're not coaching up that position and you're not taking advantage of these skill players that are not replaceable. Like when Jamar Chase was being drafted by the Bengals and everybody said Penei Sewell, and I said, absolutely mother freaking not. You can coach an offensive lineman, maybe not up to Penei Sewell, but as close to Penei Sewell that it doesn't matter. The difference is negligible. Whereas you cannot do that with a wide receiver like Jamar Chase. And I was correct. I know the Bengals haven't won a Super Bowl, but they went immediately to the Super Bowl off of that year. So I don't care what anybody says. I was correct. Jamar Chase was the pick. So Tennessee, if Tyson's the guy, or Jeremiah Love, or Carnell Tate, wide open. Is that DK Metcalf? Wide open across the middle of the field on a drag route. DK says, give it to me. And the Houston Texans were nowhere to be found. Let's just let DK Metcalf roam free across the middle of the field. That was a fantastic pitch and catch. They're playing backyard football there. Aaron Rodgers rolls to the left. I mean, he's not even a quick guy. DK's wide. I'm surprised DK didn't get even more yards on that play. There was nobody around. I mean, DK's one of the fastest wide receivers in the league. You forget that because he's so big and he eats Skittles all day. All right, Aaron Rodgers in the gun, slings the rock up to DK. Penalty. That's a penalty. You see DK's hands flailing around. He can't even get him up to catch the ball. That's a penalty. Houston folding on this drive. But anyway, Travis, to answer the question, Jeremiah Love, Jordan Tyson, or Carnell Tate, Tyson or Tate, these two wide receiver monsters.
Mm-hmm.
If Tennessee gets one of them, I'm all of a sudden on the Tennessee train a lot more, the fantasy football train at least.
Yeah, and what the way I put it was that.
Thank you.
I agree with you. It's a really bad situation, but if they get someone in there who's decent as a coach, they make the right picks.
That formula I like.
I mean, right, and like hearing Harbaugh could go there, that would do wonders for Cam Ward.
If Harbaugh's there and they draft Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate or Jeremiah Love, I'm on board.
And they have $100 million in cap space.
Right. If they bring in Breece Hall, like if you gave me the Titans job, I would make it a monster right away. I'd go get Breece Hall, ETN, or one of those free agent running backs, and then or I'd trade for Breece Hall, whatever you got to do to get Breece Hall. And then I would draft Jordan Tyson, or I would draft Jeremiah Love, and then I would go trade the world for George Pickens or Odunze. And I would turn this Titans franchise around immediately. But I don't know that they're going to do that. If they go the real like slow trenches route, it's not that it won't work. It's just it's going to take some time, and I'm not here to wait around for that. I'm not like, yeah, Titans a year and a half from now, let's start drafting guys. We're going to be avoiding the hell out of this situation if it's got no Tyson, no Tate, no Love, no Pickens, no Odunze. It's just like we like our wide receiver room that we've got, and we're gonna bring back Pollard as their starter. Like, I want nothing to do with that offense. And if Harbaugh's there doing that, it doesn't matter. But what I was saying is I don't mind burning Harbaugh if it's keeping one of the more offensive-minded guys. Now, Harbaugh could bring in the offensive-minded guy, though. So it could be Harbaugh and then also Miami Mike McDaniel or something. Then all of a sudden it's like a great combo. Kind of like the Flores. I don't like Flores as the only provider. But if it's Flores and Dable, then I love that combo anywhere.
Right.
And I'm not opposed to the defensive offensive coordinator like shared coaching maneuver. Just because Dan Quinn, I think, sucks.
Yeah.
But I think that if you get the right defensive guy in place, like Flores with Dable would be really, really interesting. Okay, Aaron Rodgers on the 21-yard line in the shotgun, 2nd and 10. The man slings the ball out of bounds. I don't even know where he's throwing it to. Like that's one of those plays where it's like, why don't you try something? Like, this is just a waste. That's like, you might as well just come in and clocked it. Like, it wasn't even... I don't know if he threw it to a spot and the receiver just didn't break or what in the hell happened. But, I mean, that wasn't even...
Looks like he threw it away.
But why not try...
He didn't like what he saw. I know. It's like
why
he
not
stared
try...
down one route and chucked it.
I mean, you're one of the greatest to ever do it. Why not throw it in a spot where either the player gets it or no one gets it? Like, why are we just throwing it away and clocking it, essentially? It's 3rd and 10.
Happy settling for a field goal.
Yeah, they just want a field goal.
Just
There we go.
Tight end down the seam. Tight end down the seam.
You're just not getting the first down. I mean, this defense is too good to be trying to 3rd and 10 this thing. And are you going to go for it on 4th down with 3 yards, Tomlin, against this defense in a short, contained field? You better not. You better not, because this is you contain the defense in a box. They're not. They're kicking it. That's even harder to go against this defense. I mean, when you're at the 50, 60, or 60 yards away, you're at the 50-yard line, 40-yard line. Like, there's so much space everywhere. You can that's where you can kind of get one over on the Texans defense a little bit. But you start crowding into the red zone, it's like, bro, you're done. You're cooked. 3rd and 10, no thank you.
Don't shank it, Boswell.
Field goal, 3-0. Almost halftime.
On the board.
Once it's 6-3, it's halftime. All right, Landman, final. I'm probably not going to hang out the whole first quarter. We'll be back for the wrap-up, but any final thoughts or anything you want to talk about real quickly? Oh, hold on. This super chat from Yogi. Yogi, you still there? I'm so sorry, bro. Yogi says, why is everyone out on Penix Jr. in the media? I don't understand. The Falcons are best. Falcons are best for Harbaugh. It's not that they're out on Penix Jr., but bro, he's had so many ACL surgeries that everyone's not sure what to make of him. You know what I mean? It's not anybody. You can't blame anybody for saying he continues to tear his ACL. This is the third ACL tear in like a matter of like 5 years or whatever it is. And so, you know, I'm definitely not personally giving up on him, but I don't know if he doesn't have the support of his own incoming staff. Then I don't like, we got to wait for that. Like, we don't know. And could he be ready for week 1? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there's a good chance it could go either way. And he's a quarterback, so he could play at a little bit lesser than 100%. It's not like he's a running back where he's cutting extremely hard. But, you know, look at Javonte. Javonte was, like, ready. I don't even know that they would have thrown him out there. And then he kind of almost had, like, not a setback, but, like, a natural couple weeks where he wasn't far along or something. I forget how it was. It was 6 months. It looked like he was ready to go. He's running 20-plus miles per hour. Breece Hall ran 22 miles per hour when he was like six and a half months recovered.
Yep.
You know, that's what's so funny when people are like, Neighbors is not going to be ready, and it's like you're predicting something and looking like, not that you won't be right by luck if he has a setback, but you're embarrassing yourself when you say Mahomes won't be ready or Neighbors won't be ready. We're 8+ months out from week 1.
And I get everyone's different. Each individual is different, but I keep pointing to Stephon Diggs was 32 years old, and he bounced right back with a 1,000-yard season. And it looks like he didn't miss a step in terms of, you know, he's older, he's lost a step from his prime, but in terms of the injury.
Yogi, you still there? Did Yogi ever respond? Yogi, where you at? Thank you, Yogi, for the super chat. And then this one here from Sam. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Smitty, Sam just recently found us. He's been having a good time here. I'm glad you found us, Sam. Smitty, I'm rotating my first 4 rounds with BA starting, running back.
Best available.
Yeah, BPA. Running back, wide receiver thoughts. I would not. One thing you'll learn here, because you know, as we just said, you're new to the channel. I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to tell someone to draft a position. Always draft a player, bro. Always draft a player. Now, I can tell you that we'll, through a bunch of trial and error, say that 90% of the time when you're drafting at 12, we're going RB. You know, like, because we've done so many drafts, the player pool is perfect for it. We don't love the receivers there. We love the wide receivers with that draft pick down in the 3rd and 4th, like, etc. But never, ever should you ever say, I'm going to go RB, wide receiver, RB. Like, you need to take the best player on the board, bro. This is like my example when you're driving down the court in basketball and you're just going to like commit to driving down the right side and doing a right-handed layup at this exact moment. Like, what if the defense shifts on you? What if it's wide open on the left side of the court? Like, you can't just decide to go in a direction when the whole thing might look different. So I can't agree with anything that is starting off RB wide receiver. Like, no, absolutely 0% of me is ever going to tell anybody to ever do that. You need to take the best player on the board that helps you. Every time you make a selection, you should be saying, I crushed that pick. And you can't say that if you're just rotating. You're forcing yourself to do this like rotationary processing. You're going to leave value on the board, bro. There's no way you're not leaving value on the board if you rotate through like that. But it might ironically go that way. You know, when someone says, I go running back, and then when they're on the clock and they tell me who's on the board, I might say, yeah, I like that. But that's, you know, that's ironically setting up the right way. But don't ever plan for it, my man. I'm telling you, it's not. You can definitely have different ideas of, hey, I tend to like balance. I do. So when I can go running back, wide receiver, or wide receiver, running back, I do like it most because it gives me balance. And it also makes you a free bird in round 3. You're like Doc Holliday, man. Tuberculosis, nothing scares you. You'll go in any direction. I can take a running back or a wide receiver or any tight end if I want a quarterback, if I'm feeling frisky in round 3 because I went running back, wide receiver, and I'm balanced. It's a freedom that a lot of people don't have in round 3. Because if you go RB, guess what you're doing in round 3? Forcing a wide receiver, no matter what. So the rotational thing, I like the idea that you're getting balanced, but I do sometimes go running back. I will tell you, we've talked about this a lot. I have a sneaky suspicion that we'll kind of like going wide receiver with at least one of our first 2 picks this year in almost any scenario, because the wide receivers drop off and the running backs are deep as hell, bro. I've never seen a running back pool so deep before. I mean, we're talking about you're getting a Breece Hall and a Hendy potentially without drafting a single running back till the 3rd and 4th round. Like you go running back in 3 and 4, and you go wide receiver in 1 and 2. But it just depends on your draft.
The drop off. That drop off from those top 6 wide receivers is sharp.
The wide receivers are thin, bro. So thin. I mean, you read. I'll read these off to you and just say, you got JSN, no particular order. JSN, Chase, Nakua, St. Brown, Lamb, Nico, London, JJ, and then all of a sudden it's like, I mean, you're at Olave. Pickens is good. Wilson, disappointed. AJ Brown getting older, but depends where he goes. Ibuka, McMillan, MHJ. It just starts getting worse and worse and worse as we go. It's such a dramatic difference. Whereas Breece Hall could go, is this an interception or is this a reception? That's a reception, okay. The Steelers are pretending that they intercepted the ball. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You're talking about Breece Hall. Breece Hall feels about the same depth of the position as, let's say, MHJ. Or J-Mo, or Metcalf, or Michael Wilson Jr., or Adams. And Breece Hall could be a top 5 running back, whereas that wide receiver probably can't be a top 5 wide receiver. Flea flicker, not going to happen, fumble. Flea flicker, fumble. Steelers get the ball. That was a stupid play.
Oh.
Low development.
I would just try to run a competent offense before you start doing the flea flickers and trick plays. God.
I just, CJ Stroud is not him. He does not have that dog in him, and he just.
Yeah, that's a problem. Is that
I don't believe
that factor. He doesn't have that factor.
I take a lot of heat for saying that I don't like when my quarterback is bawling on the field when his player gets hurt. And you can call me callous all you want. It's not like Tank Dell had passed or something. Tank Dell got injured, and it sucks. But you have a job to do. You're leading men in a foxhole into battle, and you can't be saying, "Oh my God, Tank Dell's my best friend." You can't do that. You can't. And once he did that, I was out. And you could say that's weird or callous or whatever. I'm not saying a grown man can't cry either if your dog passes away, or you're even watching one of those motivational, like where the homeless person gets the $100,000 and changes their life and you shed a tear. I love that. I'm fine with that. My eyes water up on that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about you're on the field and your best friend. I don't care. That doesn't change it for me. People are like, you don't understand. He's really close to Tank Dell. I don't give a shit. If your best friend tears his knee up, I tore my knee up. My team didn't cry for me. No one cried Argentina. Like, if your wide receiver, somebody goes down, you got to get in the huddle and go, guys, this is what we're doing. Blue 32, hatchback left, do it for Tank. You don't sit there and weep and go into the arms of your other players, and he's literally like shaking. A lot of people got mad at me over that. A lot of people are like, Smitty, that's cold, bro. That's you're wrong with this one. I'm like, I don't care what you think. That's what I think.
And him acting that way, and then having the drop off in play, which wasn't all his fault. They don't protect him well enough, but they after after him going up to Caleb and acting like, yeah, come here, son, this is I'll teach you the way.
That flipped the script.
What are we doing?
Caleb, let me tell you how to become a quarterback. Let me tell you how to unravel. Yeah, that between the crying and then the Caleb meme of telling Caleb how to, his career went.
Stacks up. It's too much stacks up against him in that sense.
Yeah, he's just not a dog. He just doesn't have that dog in him, bro. I think he's got a lot of talent, but everybody in the NFL has talent, you know. You can't, but I just didn't like that. That to me was not tough. You know, like having your head down and like, you know, even if everybody went to the center of the field, like during some crazy thing, like I'm fine, like with all that. But this was, he tore his knee. He wasn't like unconscious, going to the hospital, like his life was on the line or anything like that. He tore his knee. George Kittle tore his Achilles, and everybody's back in the huddle. And they're like, you know, it sucks. We're doing this for George. No one was weeping and holding each other after George tore his Achilles tendon, and that's how you operate at the NFL level. If you're this play was awful. Poor Woody Marks. He's just like he's told, I got to do this. I got to pitch it back to him, and he's probably going, good luck. Woody Marks gets the handoff, and he sees exactly what he sees every play. The defensive line sitting right in front of him. It's kind of like, has anybody seen that, the new, I love it, by the way, the new Mission Impossible? Have you guys seen that?
No.
No? You haven't seen the newest Mission? DK Metcalf. He dropped it. Oh, my God. On the newest Mission Impossible, not giving anything away, but this door opens, and then like this, I don't want to give it away, actually. It's not giving anything away, but anyway, what I'm trying to emphasize here is that Woody Marks has this football, and he turns around, and let me give another example. It's like Jon Snow when the whole army's coming at him, and he unsheathes his sword, and he's like, here I go. It's me against this entire army. That's like Woody Marks. He gets the ball, turns and sees the entire army coming for him, but his coach, his play design, everything says he's got to throw it back to Stroud. So it's like, this is what I endure every time I carry the ball. Here you go, Stroud. Stroud just gets leveled. Man, what a pathetic drop by DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
What a pathetic drop. Unbelievable. You're a big time wide receiver. Disgusting.
Stroud doesn't move very, very well in the pocket either. Like, he has happy feet. Like, even on that play, which wasn't a good play, you just saw how Aaron Rodgers kind of slides in and out of pressure and stuff in the pocket. CJ Stroud is dancing all the time on his toes, and he's just not very composed.
Yeah. Silver says, I was weeping when I lost neighbors. I don't blame you. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not a quarterback of an NFL team that's got to put everybody, together and keep and hold it together. Like, that's the thing, is a lot of people will say, hey, Smitty, it's okay to cry. Like, people aren't listening. I'm not saying Silver's doing that, but there are a lot of people that will say something that I'm like, and your point is what? Like, I cried when my dog passed away. Like, it's understandable. Hey, what about, it's not, guys should be able to cry and show their emotions. Okay, like, I'm not going to necessarily fully agree, like, all the time. I think that when there's big events like that, sure. But I don't think that you should, like, Jordan cried when he won the finals. He was hugging the trophy. Like, I understand that those moments happen, and I'm fine with it. Like, those are unrelated. This is where your player gets injured and you weep like a baby and you hold your other players and you're crying into their shoulder. It's different.
Exact moment you shouldn't cry. You should be picking other people up.
Yeah, and you're a quarterback. Like, it'd be one thing if one of the wide receivers was like, in his wide receiver room, there were dogs, and he's just like, he was shaking up, and he's got a tear in his eye, and CJ Stroud walks over to him and slaps him across the face and says, get a grip! And he's like, okay, you're right, CJ. Like, I'm fine with all that. I'm fine with that entire sequence. But your quarterback shouldn't be held and coddled, and you shouldn't see him, like, shaking, like that kind of crying. You know, like when Caleb was in his mom's arms in the stands. You know, when he was weeping and he was like that, shaking, crying when you're about to go back on the field is not a good look. Not a good look.
Losing control of your emotions isn't a good look like that in a game.
Brave says, Smitty, I think Loveland and Hunter Henry are going to be two really good tight ends. I mean, everyone's going to be on Loveland. Loveland's top 3 or 4. Like, you're buying Loveland right now. He's the 3rd tight end off the board. Right now, with the hype behind it all. Now, if he goes out and does bad next game, you could see that drop slightly. But, I mean, you think Loveland's going to be good. So does everyone else. Now, Hunter Henry, you'll probably steal away, Brave, a little bit. But it also depends on how he finishes.
I think Henry is what we saw this year. Like, that's what you can expect. Unless they add another big wide receiver or something.
Yeah. There are going to be a lot of people, like, saying Loveland's going to be, you know, I got a nice sleeper for you, Loveland. Like, bro, no one's sleeping on Loveland. No one's.
He's probably going to be too expensive.
Yeah,
as much as I like him.
I know. If he goes in the 3rd round, I'm not doing that. You crazy? He's going to be way too expensive. I mean, I'll like him at the right price, but if you give me Fannin in around 5 or 6 or 7, I don't know. 5's probably too early. Fannin in 6 or 7, maybe 7 or 8. I don't even know what the ADP is going to be on Fannin. Give me that all day versus Loveland in like 3 or 4, which is where some people are going to shove Loveland up. They're going to be like, I love this guy. I got to have him. Anything else, Landman?
The only thing I was going to add is, you know, with him going to Tennessee, and you know, I think he brought up a point too that they've got a lot of cap space. Plus, they can get a lot of free agents that want to play for a veteran coach, a proven coach.
Yep.
That may be an interesting landing spot, a good combination that he's got.
I like it. I love that.
Yeah, he's got cap space, and he's got that gives him a lot of freedom.
Yeah, it could be a spot he lands. It could be a spot he lands, but it's all coming off of an ESPN report. Stroud fumble or
I've been New York.
Yeah, it came off an ESPN report where there's no real juice to it, but it's just it's a logical prediction that some people are making that has nothing to do with any news yet. But it is a good spot. But I think Harbaugh is probably wanting to go to a more established place personally. I don't think he's wanting to build from the ground up, and that's what Tennessee is. You really are building from the ground up. Now, you could build quickly like I could. I'd get Breece Hall Pickens. I'd give up the world, and I'd have a team right away. But I don't, coaches aren't as aggressive. Christian Kirk should have tried to stay in bounds right there. That was a Matthew Golden play right there, in my opinion. Let me see. He had momentum. I get all that, but you're not even trying to stop. Like, I'm not saying you do stop, but you try. So he catches this ball. Let's see if they show another angle. He catches this ball, and the defender just falls down, and he doesn't even try. He's just backpedaling real slowly out of bounds. Like, he should have went downfield. All right, Layman, we'll see you tonight up for the wrap-up show.
You got it. Take it easy, Travis.
All right, later, Layman.
Later, Layman.
Travis, final thoughts? This game sucks.
I'm good. I think could be even lower scoring than we thought.
This might be negative score. They might. Jeez, man. This is a boring game. This is what you don't want football to be. Yeah. I mean, I could do the wrap-up show now. The game ended 3-0. What's the lowest scoring game ever in a playoff? Let's see if Kruger knows that. He doesn't know anything, though.
I wonder modern, like in the last 20 years, is probably more appropriate because I'm sure there was.
Yeah. Hey, Kruger, what is the lowest scoring playoff game in like the last 20 years in the NFL? The lowest scoring playoff game.
All right, Smitty. The lowest scoring NFL playoff game in the last 20 years was actually the Jaguars versus the Bills back in January 2018. That game ended with a super low score of just 10-3 in favor of Jacksonville, making it the lowest scoring playoff matchup since the late 90s.
The Jaguars. All right. Thanks, crew. He's probably wrong, and I look like a moron right now, but that's all right. I think everybody's accepted that if I believe him, I'm not a moron for believing him. I'm just reckless. That game was probably
been some really low scoring ones in like the 70s and back then. Lowest scoring ever was 1970. Cowboys beat the Lions 5-0.
Wow. Falcons will let Harbaugh pick the GM. Yeah, the Falcons, I mean, you get Bijan, London, maybe Willis comes in. You could bring Willis in, and then you'd have Penix and Willis. I mean, that would be. I think Willis would love to play with London and Bijan and Harbaugh. So I do think the Falcons are a better, or I would say a more likely landing spot for Harbaugh. Plus, he interviewed there, and it seems like it's what they're likely at this point to hook up. We'll see.
I think the only reason why the Titans would be more attractive for him is if he really likes Ward. Like if the quarterback puts it over the top for him. Because otherwise the Falcons clearly have
I mean
weapons,
this. I don't mean this in like a real negative way to Ward, because I think he's got upside. Oh, he cradled that perfectly. Didn't touch the ground. But like, what could Ward have really done this year to really impress somebody? I mean, I know he's a good prospect and everybody's excited about him, but we've said before, if he got thrown into a better QB class, he would not be even close to the top quarterback. But
no,
I don't think he really, he came on at the end of the year a little bit, but I don't know that anybody's gonna be like, wow, Ward, you look amazing. Like, I just don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, Harbaugh's taste could be different than my taste. I like Taco Tuesday on a Monday. Everybody's a little different. I mean, I might get it later. Who knows? Although I think I smell some baked potatoes being cooked here from Miss Smitty's doing like one of those baked potato dinners. So I think I'm sticking with Taco Tuesday tomorrow. But Stroud handing it off to Woody Marks. Or is that Chubb? That's Chubb. All right, Travis, we'll see you for the wrap-up show. We'll talk more about the coaching stuff. Maybe we'll do a coaching carousel show. All right, later.
Later. Bye.
Famous Amos typing in all capitals tonight, screaming and yelling at me. He says, Smitty, one league I won the chip. My draft strategy was robust RB. Another league I drafted hero RB. And last place drafted strategy for this year. Or should I just go balanced? You going best player available, which will lead to one of these. Like the way that the real elite drafter, in my opinion, drafts, it's where you draft best player available, but you're skilled at all these. Like, this is how simple drafting is. It's mind-boggling that people don't view it differently, but they don't, and so it gives me content, and I'm happy to be the only person cranking it out. But when you get skilled at different draft strategies, you can do anything. You can draft hero RB because you practice it. Maybe on underdog, you force it. Maybe on underdog, you do so many drafts, you can do that. $3 draft, $5 draft. Who cares? Force RB, force wide receiver, force hero. It's a $3 or $5 draft. Once you get skilled at doing it, when you go to do your big boy draft, Woody Marks looking like a monster, ripping off a big old run. Attaboy, Woody. Just drop some wood in the chat, please. When you're skilled at all those things, bro, what you should ultimately be doing when you go into your big boy draft is drafting best player available and then saying to yourself after you've noticed a pattern, I'm drafting hero RB. Would you look at that? Or, hey, I drafted robust RB. Would you look at that? You should literally walk out of your draft and notice the you don't plan for the strategy. Your outcome is the strategy. You know what I'm saying? So hero RB can damn well win. So could robust RB running back. But you've got to make sure that your strategy is your sub-strategy off of best player available, your main strategy. Thank you, Famous. Appreciate you. So we'll practice all of those. Woody hurt again. Woody gets hurt every day. The poor guy's abused. There's no way he holds up in this league. He's always injured. Is that a sprained ankle? He's always hurt. Always. All right, guys. I'll see you for the wrap-up show. Appreciate you all. Don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. My rankings and bold predictions and trade calculator site. It's all updated. I've got all the rookies implemented in it. I've got 5 bold predictions already. The trade calculator, your boy got into the entire fantasy industry back when I was a young punk because I couldn't find a trade calculator in the industry. And I said, I'm going to make it myself. So I created a trade calculator and have been improving it ever since for 25 plus years. So I've been doing the written content and radio for my first 19 years of being in the industry. Then the rest of it's been YouTube and the content. But I've been cranking out content since some of you didn't have armpit hair. Some of you maybe some of you weren't even born. There might be, if there's a 19, I don't know how old some of you are, but there might be a few of you that were barely conceived. You might have been in diapers. But we were creating this content right here, been crafted and honed in on. But all the rookies are in here, and then I'll adjust and adapt once the landing spots happen. So get your thefantasyfootballshow.com content link in description. And then also don't forget the Patreon link is also in the description. $10 a month, cancel anytime. It's our group chat. We're live 365, 24/7 inside the group chat. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Thank you for my super chatters, Landman and all the rumblers over there. And then my super chatters here, we've got Yogi with a Duble and Sam. Appreciate your super chat. You're the man, the myth, the legend. See you all later. Appreciate you. See you for the wrap-up show.